Hello guys, we are back here to the second part of the session where we had discussed inferential control in the last video session. I just want to recap the entire thing that we have a controller which normally requires the feedback as in case of feedback controller, but for some reasons if this feedback is not available, for example, this is the feedback which is used for the control of the entire process. For some reason, this controlled output is not measurable in real time to be made available for feedback, and there are several such cases like in case of composition, strength of the cement and so on and so forth, which cannot be measured accurately in real time, means as to be taken as feedback to control the process as such. In that case, we actually infer this uncontrolled measurement with the help of secondary measurements. We take the secondary measurement from here, and this uncontrolled, this unmeasured controlled output y is estimated with the help of secondary measurement z. So we know this secondary measurement, this is measurable, and we are trying to estimate the value of y from this z, provided we know the process, we know what is the transfer function of gp1, what is the transfer function of gp2, what is the transfer function of gd1 and gd2, how manipulated variable is affecting y and z, how the disturbance is affecting y and z. All these things are known to us through a reliable mathematically modeled transfer functions, as you can see from here and here, and therefrom we can infer the value of y, which will be used further as a feedback process. So as we see over here, we can go in for a special kind of feedback which is estimated, and the process entire is known as inferential control system. Now let us see. This is what we had seen in the last video session. This session deals with the mathematical modeling, which was not covered in the previous session. And here we see we have simple mathematics. As you can see from here, you can derive it from here. The value of y, as you can see, which is not measurable as such, is whatsoever is the manipulated variable. This is the manipulated variable that is to be multiplied by gp1, that is to be multiplied by gp1 over here, and whatsoever is the value of disturbance, you can see this is disturbance over here, it's multiplied by gd1. So this d gets multiplied by gd1. These two terms are getting added, these two terms are getting added over here, and what you get is y. So whatsoever is represented pictorially is represented mathematically by this equation. Similarly, whatsoever is represented mathematically in this equation is represented pictorially, as you can see. What we are doing is that this manipulated variable m is getting multiplied by gp2, this disturbance d is getting multiplied by gd2, and the two are getting added to give you the secondary measurement z or z, as we call it in India. Now, there are two issues. The first issue is that this y is not known to me. This y is not known to me. And the second and the bigger issue which is there in most of the feedback controllers is that this d is also not known to me. This d is not measured. So we have very explicitly mentioned it that this d is unmeasured disturbance, and this controlled output is also unmeasured. So we have, as you can see, two simultaneous equations, and we have two unknowns over here. This z can be measured, this m of course we are manipulating, we know this M, and all these processes GP1, GP2, GD1, GD2 are known to me. And as we have been doing since, I don't know, ninth standard or 10th standards, we have two unknown variables and we have two simultaneous equations. So it's very simple thing as such. So what we are going to do here is we calculate the value of D. You see, we solve for this. We derive the value of D from these two equations. And here we have this value of D. We have to put this value of D in over here to get the value of Y. It's just like going in for solution of two simultaneous equations, and once we solve for it, we get the value of y as by this equation. So guys, this is the equation we have to find, and this equation is represented pictorially in the next slide. Now you see, this is the inferential control which has an estimator, and this is the objective of this video session, to find or to design a kind of estimator which will estimate the value of y from the value of z. Once again, I am going to repeat that this z is measured secondary variable. This is available to me, this M is available to me, and the processes are known to me. And using this estimator, as you can see in this outlined box over here, I can estimate the unmeasured value of y. How? We have done it. We have already done this as we went in for the value of y we had seen in the last slide. It was taken as y is equal to GP1 minus GD1 upon G2 into GP2. This entire thing was multiplied by the manipulated variable M, and GD1 upon GD2, you can see GD1 upon GD2, it was measured by Z. So what we are doing over here is exactly the same. Whatsoever you see in this part of the equation, you see the same thing in this part of the estimator, and whatsoever you see in this part of the equation over here, it is GD1 upon GD2, the same thing you see in this part of the estimator. So this part of the estimator is multiplied by Z, and this part, as you can see, this part of the estimator, it's multiplied by M. So whatsoever is M, it's multiplied by this. Whatsoever is Z, it's multiplied by this. The two are getting added, and as you can see, this is the Y. It is the estimated value of unmeasured output y. It has been inferred, and that is how we take the feedback. It's a special kind of feedback, and we infer the output which is otherwise not possible for us to measure. We can conclude about the inferential control that we have to have a very good estimator, and its success will depend upon how good the estimator is. Further, this estimator again is dependent upon how good we know the transfer functions of process. These transfer functions are GP1, GP2, GD1, GD2. These all have to be very, very accurate, and if the accuracy of these transfer functions is compromised, then the quality of inferential control is also compromised in the same manner. Mostly what we do is we have to have certain things like composition which are not directly available, but we have temperatures which are available. So these temperatures, they act as the secondary measurement, and if we know the process well, we can infer the value of composition. In most of the chemical processes, maybe they are distillation columns, maybe they are dryers or absorbers or chemical reactors. So that is how we play around to go in for inferential control, taking the feedback, even if the output is unmeasurable, we estimate it and we take the feedback in real quick manner. This was about inferential control. In case you have any queries, in case you have any observations, you can all contact me. I thank you all for patiently listening to this video session as such, watching it, and I hope you stay safe and enjoy learning. Bye bye.